And we're back with another video. I'm just making sure my mic's working. I'm gonna turn this down. You don't want to hear Hearts of Iron that loud. Alright, so I'm gonna move my mic this way. I do not know how loud this is because I've realized my mic is too close to my mouth and it goes, you know. Sorry for that. If that hurt your ears, sorry. But so I'm gonna try this, and we're gonna, if I can find it, I'm just gonna say if you need extra help from outside tutorials, you can join the server. It's linked in the description, and you can modding help, and you just ask for help. And typically there's other people or me helping people. But I never leave anyone unread. I will go through and read everyone. So if you want to join the Discord, you can. Alright, so this video, it's fairly simple. Again, I didn't prepare a script because that's funny. So I've not done ideology modding in a bit, so it's a little off, and I do not care about cloud sync. Okay, so let me do that. There we go. So the first thing we're gonna do, because we need to make the mod folder, we're gonna right-click Hearts of Iron. Is my mouse on? It is. Okay, see, I'm remembering stuff, guys. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna do is right-click Hearts of Iron. We're gonna go to Manage and Browse Local Files. We're just gonna leave this open. Next, we're gonna launch, because we need to make a mod. So we're gonna launch Hearts of Iron, and once it launches, go to playset, and there. This is what your playset will look like if you don't have any mods. I don't really care about communicating with Steam. Alright, so again, this will be empty for you probably. So you'll click Upload Mod, Create Mod, Ideology Vid. I spelled ideology wrong, I don't care. And then this is version 1, and then this is, it doesn't matter if you do the tag or not, I'm just going to do it. Ideology, create mod. Now you have a mod. There, video, no I'm kidding. You're going to go to playset, and in the playset you're still on, which is this one, you'll click add to current playset, and here's your mod. Your mod is now enabled, and this will probably be set to this also. But your mod's enabled, so now you want to click these three dots and click show in file folder. Now you got your mod right here. It's empty. There's nothing in it because that's the next step. So we're gonna do a few files, and I'll probably add more on the way. So we're gonna load the base game for copy and paste pretty much. So the first thing we're gonna do is Hearts of Iron, and we're gonna get common. So we're gonna right click, new folder, folder, common. Right? And I'll make the rest of the files on the way, I think. So we're gonna open common on both sides, and then I'm gonna type in I, so I can find ideologies. Now here, I'm just gonna copy this folder because, I mean, you could rename this to 01, but I prefer just using this one. So this has all the ideologies in here, and so we want to add a new one. So I'm actually gonna open this in Visual Studio Code, so I know all the errors I make. Because if I make an error and I accidentally delete the wrong thing, like for example, if I delete this, I go all the way down, this will be red. So just fix that. So you'll know if you're missing one. Alright, so we're gonna go to neutral, or should we do, we'll do fascist. We'll grab the fascist one just because they have like everything enabled, so it's much easier to demonstrate stuff. So fascism. So I'm gonna click right here, and then I'm gonna go down to scroll right here, and I'm gonna hold shift and click, and it should highlight everything. Then you're going to click Control C to copy, and then you're gonna figure out where this ends, which should be the second to last bracket. You're gonna bring it down, and you're gonna paste it. Now this is, if you load in, it'll just be another fascist and probably break your game. So we're just gonna do military. militarism, right? And we're only going to do one sub-ideology, and that's just going to be militarism, so I'm just going to copy and paste that. And now we're going to delete everything else from right here. Not this. This is for the types. If you delete that, then it won't work. There we go. Next, we're just going to leave the fascist names, but faction names, we'll come back to that later, probably, near the end. War impact, so whenever they're in a war, it's how much tension. I believe this is 100%, but don't quote me on that. So we're going to leave that there. Faction impact on the world, or is that 1%? It might just be 1. I don't know. It's either 100, I think it's, yeah, it looks like 1. Okay. Lend-lease tension. So this is 50%. So if we made this just 0, 0, and then 1, it should be 100%. And justify war goals, this should be 80%, I believe. If it's 80%, it brings the world tension to 80 or something. I'm not entirely sure. I forgot about how those work. I do know that the AI fascist behavior. So behaviors for AIs, they're more complex to set up, but they're possible. I mean, I'm still learning them, so we're just gonna leave it fascist. But if you want, like, if you wanted to puppet everything you said to communist, I guess probably. I don't really mess with that. I just kind of make them most of the time. I mean, that's the main part. Can puppet. So I skipped to rules completely. So if you want to be able to puppet stuff, you leave it on yes. If not, then you turn it on no. Can force government, can send volunteers. And I don't know if all the rules, I have to check real fast if all the rules are in. It's basically just like what you want it set to. I think, yeah, there's more rules right here for democratic. So you can see, wait, is this democratic? Yeah. Can only justify on threat countries. So if we add this, that means they can only justify in countries that have caused a threat. Can lower tension. So I think I'm going to change one of these so you can see. I'm going to change the can puppet for military. So let me see. Can puppet? No. This is for military. So now you have an ideology in the game. And I mean, if you have like _7 or something, I mean, I don't know why you'll do that, but like for sub ideologies, if you have underscores, you do localization. I'll show you how to do that so it doesn't show the underscores. But I'm just gonna leave it as this anyways. So now we have our ideology done, and if you load the game, you'll notice it's not there in any countries. So we're gonna add it to a country real fast. So we're gonna make a file called history, and then we're gonna make a file called countries. And in countries, we're gonna go to that in here, history, countries, and we're gonna grab, what's a country that's not released? Chad. Let's do Chad. So this one, and just paste it in here. And now we're gonna set population. Okay, so this is where you set the ideology. Well, like what their percent is. It has to equal 100. If not, will probably just set all to democratic, I believe, and kind of be broken. So we're gonna go militarism equals, and we're gonna do 50, and then we're just gonna set neutral to 0. And then we're gonna copy this and put it where neutrality is. And now it's on military. So your ideology is military. And I do want to change something in the ideology. So in here, I'm sure some people might have caught it. So you have colors. So right now it's set to orange, which is the fascist one because we just copied it. I don't know all the color codes by heart, so I'm just going to set it by a random number, and if I like it, I like it. If not, then I'm going to change it later. But so 120, 75, 0. You could just check that by, it goes by RGB, or red, green, blue, I believe it is color code. So you could just search those on Google and you can find the color codes you want. So we're gonna load our game now, and we're gonna look at what we have. So we're gonna go to load, and I'm gonna pause until we get there. You know, I'm not gonna close this game real fast, but I'm gonna show you how to do debug mode before I go in. You have to relaunch the game, but you click properties, and in general, you'll type in -debug, and then if you want to see why you have a crash report, you also type this in, which is nice to have. So that's how you open debug on launch. To disable, you just erase this, and then you have to relaunch your game if you haven't done that. I didn't know that's new. Alright, so I'm gonna go single player new, I'm gonna go here, and I'm just gonna pick France for fast, because Chad is not released. So, I mean, you could just go, and this is how to release, you could just go through here and release it, but you can also just click tab, or click the button above tab, open the console, click release, or type release, and then there you go. Now Chad should be released, and we go tag Chad. Now here's a few things you notice. One, it doesn't have a flag, but it has this, and see how it's like slightly different? That's just because I just chose a random color, but it is different. It's a different color, it's just barely. So you'll notice it doesn't have a country leader, doesn't have a flag. So that's the next thing we're going to set, country leader and flag, and then we'll get to ideology logo. So we're going to go back to our folders, and we're going to make a GFX folder in the mod GFX, and in GFX we're going to make flags, and in flags we're going to make two folders, medium and small. Now before we continue, the only downside to new ideologies is, like with Chad, not all countries have a default flag they can resort to if they do not have the ideology flag. I think if I do like England, I think they have a default one. So if I set ruling party militarism, I'm not sure. No, they don't. But some countries do, and I can actually check which ones if I go to this folder, GFX. You go to flags, something like ADU, so I don't think they're released. Oh. There you go. So this is ADU. They have a default flag. So I think it's probably the same for if I do like democratic. Oh, wait, I'm not on the. I think it's the same for if I do like oh no, it's different. Okay. So they have different flags for all these, but their default flag is this. And so if I went militarism, their flag will stay as this, as default. And if I was like communist, I went militarism, it will go back to the default flag. And that's the reason why, is because in the mod folder, it has communist, or it has communist, democratic, fascist, and a default one, which is neutral also. But you can also set neutrality and make a default one for like a puppet or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to control CV, and whenever you're making flags, I recommend not going through all the ideologies. I mean, you have to set all of these to have military or just default, because not all of them have that, as I said. But we're just going to set this for Chad, so we're going to go Chad and just make it default. And Chad's flag, now, we're just going to modify this because I don't feel like grabbing the Chad one. There we go. This is perfect. Now, I'm using paint.net, and when I finish, with what I'm modifying. So do like, there you go, that's Chad's flag. We're gonna I click Control S, and then I'm not gonna change 24-bit. I'm not gonna compress. If you click compress, it won't work. I found out the hard way when I first was learning. So you click OK, now it's saved. But you'll notice it's somewhat broken. I'm gonna reopen that, but minimize it. So now I'm gonna go to medium, and I'm gonna do the same in here. I'm gonna copy this, paste it, and rename it to Chad, or CH. Did I rename this one to Chad? No, okay, CHA. I'm gonna capitalize it. CHA. And this is the medium flag, so I'm going to open this. And the reason why I don't close it is because then I can just copy from right here. So I'm going to click this tool. I'm going to highlight all of this, Control C, go to the next slide, Control V. Do not click expand canvas. You want to click keep canvas size. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm just going to crop it. There's other ways to like do it by just finding the image size, but it's much easier just to do this. Just copy and paste it. And then we're going to do the same for small. Also, why large is not a folder, it's because the flag outside the medium and small is the folder for large. So, and I don't need to copy the same one. I'll do a different one, like AFA. I'll change it to chat, and it'll still do the same thing. And then you want to make sure you copy Control C, Control V, keep canvas size, and just resize it. And this is why I prefer Paint.net. It's much easier just to do all this stuff. Save, and then you close that. And now your flag's set up. So if you reload, you'll see it says a default flag. If you want it to be for a certain one, you'll just do this, and then underscore militarism, the ideology name. And then you do that for all of them, but I don't feel like doing that because that will take too long. Next, we're going to set a leader, so we're going to go new folder in GFX, leaders. And again, it's basically just copy and pasting stuff because coding it from scratch would be too hard. So you're going to open leaders, and we're going to do this one because it has one, so Albania. And we're going to rename it Chad. I think Chad actually has one. So I'm just going to use Chad. Oh, maybe not. Alright, well, we make a Chad one then. Yep. So we have Chad, and honestly, if you have a leader, you just do the same way as the flag. I'm just going to make him pink, kind of. Not really going to try. There we go. There's his leader portrait. Alright, now I'm going to rename this to Chadbania. Chad, and then whatever his name is, Chadman. There we go. So we have Chadman. He's going to be in power. This is a voiceover because I forgot to unmute my mic. But so basically, you go back to your file. We're going to go to open both files, and we're going to if I can remember what I did exactly, go to common on both. We're going to make a file, and I believe we're going to do leaders, if I'm not wrong, or characters. I clicked the wrong file, but you'll find the one called characters. You will double click that. And I was going to search for, well, you have to make the file also, my bad. Characters in your mod area, character. Alright, now I don't think there was a Chad one. Oh no, there is. So you're gonna open Chad, and in Chad, they don't have a leader portrait because you know they aren't released on base game. So we're gonna go steal a different leader portrait. We're gonna steal it from Afghanistan because I know they have a leader portrait thingy. So copy that, you can close that and paste in the characters at the top and name it Chadman. Next, change the ideology. This is the sub ideology, so we're going to change it to militarism. Now I'm going to go copy the name from GFX of the leader from Chad, which is just F2, and then paste it. The top, this is like the ID name, so you can paste it there. Just add GFX to the beginning, or the country. I mean, not GFX. So CHA. And then for the civilian thing, you could do interface, but I don't like doing interface. It's just easier to paste the directory from GFX leaders Chad. So that's what we're gonna do. So now we have GFX leaders Chad pasted in here. And then we're going to paste the ID of the character, which we're just going to copy and paste again with DDS at the end, because that's what it is. And now, if you load your game, this should load with the portrait and the name. Oh wait, no, you need to copy the ID up here, and we're going to go to the history file. So let's figure out how to get there. So history, countries, Chad. And we're going to do recruit underscore character equals Chadman, because that's his ID. Now, if we restart and boot up the game, I'm voicing over the last part because my mic was muted. But yeah, sorry about the fan, by the way. Now you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to go release tag cha, and you should have a flag and a leader. And that's like the basics to ideology modding. If I missed anything, I'll think about it. Oh yeah, default portraits for if you don't have a leader. So we're gonna do another country, because like if you go like if you tag Belgium, and I swap them, set rule and state, they won't have again the flag or a leader. And so default is not too difficult. It's just I don't think really any channels actually show it, so we're gonna do that. And this kind of took me a long time to learn because I had to learn it on my own. So we're gonna go to Hearts of Iron. We're gonna go to portraits. I'm just gonna copy this. And I didn't know there was different ones. Alright, so we're gonna open this file, the first one, unless you're making it for the DLC for some reason. Visual Studio Code. And now, I don't care about release notes. We're in here, and you'll see you have all this stuff, and then you scroll down and you'll see political. And for political, we're just gonna copy fascism right here and go under neutral. Make sure it's right here. So go under neutral and paste it again. Then we're gonna rename it to militarism, and now your portrait's set. Now, what you would typically do is repeat this process for every single one and just change their portrait to For this one, Europe, because it's in Europe. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to copy and paste because I don't want to waste too much time doing that. So make sure, again, it's right after this file, not the other one. So they're all going to be the same character portrait. But no one really ever shows how to do these type of portraits. So we're just doing this real fast. This is Asia, so if you change it, I'll change one. I'll change the Asia one after I'm done doing it. And they're all set to the fascist portrait too, but you can make a custom one. So like this. And I think that's all. Alright, we'll do the Asia one. We're going to change it to the fascist Asia one. Like that. And now your portrait's made. So now if we just relaunch the game again. Alright, now once the game's reloaded, we go new, do the same thing. And the only downside to ideologies is if you don't have a custom leader for a released nation, it will show no portrait. I'm not going to demonstrate that because it'll take me too long. I mean, it won't take that long, but I don't feel like changing, relaunching again. So any release nation needs an actual portrait. You could just make a default portrait of the character, though. So we're going to go tag Belgium. And remember, they don't have a flag because I never said that for Belgium. Military, and now if I reopen it, there you go, they have a portrait, default portrait. So now your character has default, and I said I'll do Asia, so we'll go tag China. And set military, and it'll be the fascist or whatever one this is. Europe will be the same as, you know, everywhere else because I set them all to the same thing. Like this. I'm unsure like which countries have default flags, so that will take a while to go. I think USA does. No, they don't. Yeah, I don't know which ones do. Next thing. There's so much to do for the simple thing of ideology modding. It's fun. Next thing, we're gonna set the flag or the ideology thing. So we're gonna go GFX again, and I think it's ideologies or it's interface maybe. Ideologies, yeah. So interface ideologies. So GFX. Gonna make a new folder. Nope, not a shortcut. Make a new folder. Interface. And in interface, we're just gonna copy ideologies. Here we go. Here's all the possible ideologies. Let's just grab the unknown one, and we're gonna rename it to militarism. Yay! And we're gonna change it a tiny bit. How we're gonna do this is I don't know how to make portraits that good, so we're gonna make it purple like everything else. There we go, beautiful. And don't change any of this. Just okay. Well, it should be set to whatever mine was set to. Just pause and do that. There we go, militarism. It won't pop up though, because you have to do other stuff, I believe. Like go to interface. Why is it not popping up? I believe, I'm just checking, don't follow my steps. Now, we're gonna go interface, and find wherever the ideology thing is, which I think if I just click I enough, no it won't. Let me figure out where this is. So to do this, because I don't do it that often, you'll go to what I'm doing, but I'm looking at a page. So you need, we already have interface. No, we don't. You need to make a new folder called interface outside of the GFX. And once you make that, you'll make a folder. And because I don't know, this one has all these GFX right here. I don't know where the ideology GFX would necessarily be. I think it's just, yeah, I don't know where it would be. So what we're gonna do is copy one of these. We do leader portraits, I guess. Yeah. So interface, copy leader portraits, and we're just gonna change this to militarism portraits. Portrait. Like so. Open this. And of course, so this will go all the way down here. All we want, well, wait, where is it going? All the way to this, I believe. So we just want to delete all this to this. I'm going to keep this one. Now if you look at it, this goes here, and this goes there. So now if we go back to this form, you'll see how it's like, how it's set to like, you know. So we're going to GFX, we're going to just erase all this. Ideology underscore, I think these are like, yeah, ideology and then militarism. And we're going to go get this. So we're going to GFX interface slash ideologies slash military, just militarism. And I'm going to check real fast if that's what it's called. Yeah, militarism.dds. And it's ideologies interface. So this should, you know, yeah. And as I'm looking, since I don't do this one as much, I don't think you need to put, you know, this anywhere anytime soon. But if you want a custom country to only have that thing, so like BHR, if you want it only for Belgium or something, you set BEL. So we're gonna relaunch again. Yay. Now we open and we release Chad again. Now we're gonna go release Chad or Cha. Go here and see how the thing's set to the icon. And that is how you do ideologies. That is as far as I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna get into advisors or anything. It's the same way. You basically just copy and paste and set it to militarism ideology or whatever. Because I don't feel like doing that. Okay. Now, goodbye. For localization, you just do what other tutorials do at the very end, like what I normally do.